Certainly, I think that FORZE are a team that will be expecting to make the playoffs of tournaments like this. It's just the expectation. When you have a roster of that tier, you should be making it deeper into these tournaments. So on dust to the pistol round about to be underway. 2 flashes and a diffuse kit picked up by Jerry, but the rest of the CTs sticking with the body armor. A similar situation over in Singularity, just the one player with utility as they look to explode out onto A long here and hopefully secure themselves some kills. It's face crack on A long. He's going to be the first man to be aggressed into. Singularity, they want to put pressure on this A bomb site. It's just a case of when it is the right time for them to do so. Flash is going out to defend the FORZE players, but now face crack under pressure, has to land some shots, and he's whiffing everything at the moment. The Glocks still haven't cleaned him up though, and Flip bails him out. 2 big kills. It's Ixapower now to try and find something, but he in turn can't get much done with the USPS. Red White will only get 1 though, and the rest will be cleaned up. FORZE, they do manage to take the CT pistol.
It was just really something that felt like an awkward encounter in the early stages, but for the CTs and the Russians, that's at least a positive start. Singularity at this point, I think they just go for an eco because no bomb plant was really brought out. FORZE already have the M4s out, and what weapon is that Almazar has?
It looks like he's bought the Negev in the second round here. Wants to use the laser precision accuracy of the heavy rifle. You definitely don't see it used all too often, especially in the second round, but he might not get punished too badly for it because the MP9s do the rest of the work up mid, and the interesting question is going to be whether or not he actually saves it forward into the next round.
I mean, he's kept it. Whether he buys something new is a completely different idea, but it was a nice one from Z-Power just with the MP9 from below. I really hope that... Actually, I hope the Negev gets kept. I'd love to see it played out against the AK, so that's the only concern. Z-Power at least now has an AWP with minimal utility. Singularity, though, have the weapons, so they can now look towards a full buyout. And a fast one, in fact, out towards A is where Yabi, well, in fact, he falls.
Almost overwhelmed here towards long. Remoy will get 1 on the trade, but FORZE, they almost win the early battle. Eventually, the second frag does come through for the AK, and now FORZE, they're in a little bit of trouble, Louis. They've got the MP9 and that nasty-looking Negev ready on the defense, and that's just about all they can work with. Jerry has to get this kill. He can't convert it with the MP9, and that's the A-bomb site given away.
Yeah, at least the Negev is still in play, but Almazar's got a little too much more work to do. Maybe some damage could have been there, but the player across is just fine. Remoy has no issues with the bomb plant, so Singularity, they've more or less converted their opening round. The Negev, I hate to say it's going to be kept over for at least another round. I don't know what the intention is, but for FORZE and their money, they're not going to be too impacted heavily. Z-Power might be the player dropping down to just a weaker weapon.
Yeah, if you look at Ixapower's money, actually, the most realistic scenario could actually be that he just gets dropped the Negev in the next round and the rest of them buy up rifles. That seems like one of the only economic decisions that can make sense there, as the contact long play from Singularity really works out in the end there. The flashes dragging that fight out and costing FORZE too many men on the defense, ultimately giving it away to the TE side there. The buy is going to come through, and yeah, you can't really afford to just scoff at that Negev, to be honest with you. It's a free weapon. Almazar isn't going to force his teammates to use it, but he is still going to keep it.
Well, I mean, for Jabby and Singularity, they'll all keep the AKs out, and AWP is also there for Mertz. For the Danes, a good little while awaits, but Mertz, the AWP actually wins that. Z-Power deleted. FORZE lose their early AWP, and while at least it gets recovered by face crack, he can also cross away safely. It's going to be Jerry at least now lurking in mid, trying to maybe impact and push in and clear out B, because the Danes look hungry to really take A.
Face crack. He's found the follow-up AWP shot. One more would be beautiful, but Mertz is waiting in the wings with an AWP of his own. Opportunity missed. He wants to repeat the angle, but Mertz is going to win it out. Aggressive on the other side of the smoke. And now FORZE have to rotate back in. Negev on the defense, still alive and kicking, but Singularity, they trying to find a way into this A bomb site. The spray is not going to yield any results for FORZE, but they do find the kill onto Yabi.
Oh, Yabi at least strikes one back. Singularity, it's a 3-on-3 and for FORZE. If they choose to retake this, it will certainly help boost their confidence and momentum as the bomb finally gets planted. Almazar with the flash, which isn't too ideal to really make an impact play happen. Moy's already got the first, and despite being tagged down, I think FORZE will now just look to back away with the M4 and the other M4. So finally, we lose on the Negev.
Yeah, at last they make the decision that that might not be the most effective rifle to use on the defensive side of things, so they take it away and swap it out for the M4s instead. But this is 2 rounds in a row now that Singularity have hit A long hard and just brute forced their way into the bomb site. FORZE, they're going to have to look at defending that portion of the map more actively, because if they keep giving it away, they can't really scramble on the defense to recapture the site.
I think for Singularity at this point, they again, while they might consider the A site as an option, they now going to start to come up with a dynamic play. Stop drawing your attention towards long so early on, or they might try and counter this early on. And in terms of their CT play, it's, well, it was looking to really be free towards A, but it's an awkward buy. It's an AWP and M4s and a couple of pistols all across the place. And I said it was an AWP, it's actually a scout. So he looks to go hunting, and an AWP towards suicide. Mertz might look to take damage.
Mertz could go down here, but he is very cognizant of the aggression, flicks around and finds Jerry. That is the nightmare frag for FORZE at this point in time. They have to start backing off now from whatever they were considering. Almaza can't quite get far enough forward to recover his teammate's M4, so face crack is going to try and do it instead. He's found the right timing and recovered the rifle, but Singularity once again now, they've gone out A-long and they're stomping their way up towards this bomb site. There are rifles available on the defense, but one of them has no armor.
Yeah, Flit's got a bit of work to do if he really wants to do something. Same with face crack, if anything. The spray from Tobiz is awkward, and in fact, no kills actually get found just yet. So for Singularity, a couple of Molotovs and an easy A site should be secured. But Jabi does fall. Singularity might be allowed to take a bit more damage, but if they just want to back around, keep the rifles they've got, that's the best call from FORZE's point of view.
Yeah, perhaps Flit can go a little bit aggressive here with the pistol. See if he can turn any exits into a free AK or something like that. But instead, he's going to wait in the lower tunnels and hope that Singularity get aggressive on the hunt, which, based on their own money, they have no plans of doing. They will take the lead. They guarantee themselves 3 rounds. And FORZE, I think they can just about get the 4x together in the next one with these saved rifles in the bank. Certainly starting off close here, though, on Dust 2.
Yeah, Singularity from 2-0 down, now have a lead. That keeps the AWP. The money, in fact, certainly building up from their point of view, and it's just what Singularity really would be looking for going forward now. For FORZE, the money just about allows even for a full buy. I think Z-Power's got an AWP, so and falls elsewhere. Singularity. And might rely on Mertz to maybe get an opening down in middle. The shot's just too early.
Yeah. You're absolutely right with that one. Firing too quickly off the mark. And this time, the long aggression from Singularity is finally punished. FORZE have control, but they had to spend 4 players realistically to achieve that. And now they have to readjust towards mid. It's the right call as Singularity are looking to aggress in that region of the map, but the smoke deters them for now. It'll funnel them into the tunnels instead. And well, they have extra power on that B bomb site, but he only has the scout to work with. He needs these mid players to get something done.
Well, still trying to hide in the door. Tobis, him and Singularity, they don't seem to be too concerned by the players up close, and Flitz will be the first to fall. Face crack, I think they just heard him in the Molotov, but still, he's allowed a kill, and the York can't even strike back. Mertz forced to fall away, and for the mid-play wanted, Singularity now have to just commit fully out of B tunnels to let Right can at least clear the site, or at least towards doors and window. Molotov now chimes in. Singularity now look towards a bomb plant. And FORZE, unless they get a kill back fast, they might again look towards a save, but they've got an advantage, so they could go for this.
Yeah, they can't really afford to save with the man advantage here, especially with a rejuvenated B-bomb site. That smoke is going to make things a lot more difficult, though. This tunnels contingent of the retake has to be perfect, otherwise FORZE could get quite realistically locked out. Mertz is waiting in the wings with his AWP, but he misses the opening flick. That's the way in that FORZE need. 2-on-4 defense now for Singularity. Reduced to 1, reduced to none. The clinical retake for them. They do it with 4 players left alive. The B-bomb site back under control, and the scoreboard tied at 3-3.
Joey's flash into the site actually got 3 of the players, so that was so helpful in allowing Singularity really not a chance on the defending end of the site. FORZE at least strike back quicker, but still a load of AKs really on their end could be a concern. Now an AWP at least gets dropped over. FORZE will have a couple of those. Or Singularity just look with their single AWP and AKs. Mertz in mid. Again, waits, looks for the timing, but the player crosses, and Singularity no damage as of yet.
Double AWPs on Dust 2 for FORZE, but it's Chabby's aggression that nearly works out perfectly. Exapower's AWP will bail FORZE out, but the spam could remove him if he's not careful. Thankfully, his movement allows him to escape and remain as a defender of the A-bomb site, and it's almost his aggression that's really punished Singularity towards the tunnels. Locks the man advantage into FORZE's favor, and now Singularity have to completely change their game plan.
Well, FORZE, from their point of view, they just had Almazar clear upper tunnels towards B, so they should be pretty convinced that an A site or an A attack could be likely, but now FORZE back off to keep it on a 2-on-2 split. And as they set up the utilities, it's a concern, really. Joey and Excess Power are just easy with the kill. So right is the man to at least fire back, but he's got to do a couple more in terms of kill numbers to win that one. Z Power at least converts it. FORZE back on top.
That is the beautiful bait setup there with Extra Power. They already know that he's low HP after finding that opening AWP kill. So when he fires out again, they expect him to be alone on the angle. They strafe out. They get punished. They do eventually find the trading rifler, but they're so paranoid that Extra Power is actually facing and not retreating that they don't stick around for the gunfight. It's a bit of a blunder at the start of this round, and a bit of an unnecessary double smoke towards the mid doors. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, though. That grenade doesn't do as much damage as perhaps it should, and Singularity, they go quickly out onto the A site. The Deagles are here, but so is Exazor. He is looking for the shots. Only one found so far, and now he's being swarmed by the pistols. Seemingly able to deal with that one, though, without too much of an issue. Mertz left just on the Deagle as the rifles on the A site do bail FORZE out. Once again, control back in their favor. 5 rounds on the board, and Singularity, they're going to call their tactical timeout here. They want to reset the momentum a little bit, and with their money looking just good enough to get a buy together, no AWPs available for Mertz, though, they want to decide what exactly they want to do on the offense.
Well, a change of plan really needs to happen, because FORZE have been quite good at reading how Singularity have been approaching the early stages of this. FORZE long it's not been as successful that round. If they got a bomb plant, that would have been a lot more vital, but it's not a massive concern. The concern is the AWP isn't going to have any armor going forward. Mertz will only have the big green weapon. The AWP. The weapon that FORZE have twice. And FORZE, so far, just since they got the last 2 rounds back, they seem to have just had a bit of that momentum swing in their favor. And that's an opening start they wanted and Singularity didn't expect.
Yeah, that's the perfect one right there for FORZE. 5-on-4 situation. The raw glass cannon on Mertz. No utility whatsoever to back it up, and they just want to dry peek out onto the A side. The smoke's late, and that causes Almazar to fall, but Flit's AWP is here to recover. Singularity, they're looking for the way in, but Flit gets a second through the smoke. 2 on 4 now as he continues to hunt another player in his crosshair, but eventually he's put down. 3 on 2 situation, and Singularity still need the plant.
Well, they need to plant, but they've also got to clear behind them. Look at Joey. He's so key to how it's played out. Both kills found. FORZE with a 6th round. And they make it look easy as well. Another gun round converted. Singularity. They've looked dire, I hate to say, on some of these gun rounds. Very was easy, but Flit with the AWP, he was so impactful there, Patalis.
Yeah, that second kill really shuts down the attack, and then the flank comes through from Jerry and puts the final nails in the coffin. FORZE starting to take control of the momentum now here on Dust 2. The double AWPs working perfectly as Singularity have to drop down to yet another eco. They're going to try the B-bomb site once again, but they don't have as many weapons to work with here.
Smoke in the way means they won't quite be going for any fast push, and they don't even want to look towards the choke point out of upper tunnels. Instead, Singularity now move towards lower tunnels and maybe look towards A short as a potential opportunity forward. Jerry might hear 1 or 2 sound cues there, but mostly on damage somehow. Singularity, so Rate's the only player who actually does or takes anything at all.
They escape from that with everyone alive, and now they look to push short, but they won't escape from that without punishment. Exapower's AWP flicking around. He's good for 2 at least, and the riflers have arrived to defend him. Mertz will remove him with the Deeg and does more damage. 3 quick headshots. That gives the bomb plant away at least, but he might instead want to run away with an AK. Finally punished by Flit instead. FORZE have 7 on the board. Decent economic damage dealt by Mertz, but at this point, that CT bank is so built up that it doesn't really matter.
I mean, Z-Power, he thought he completely had the round all hooked up in FORZE's favour, but as soon as Mertz had that opportunity with the Deagle, he just looked insane. The shots so clean. But I feel the AK push was much unnecessary. His side down 3-7. FORZE, we expected a nice performance, and so far, they're somewhat running away with this.
Oh, they go aggressive, but they can't catch Flit out of position. He's just tagged down, and that denies Singularity their opener. It's Exapower this time who's gotten incredibly aggressive with his AWP, hoping that somebody peeks into him. They'll dink him through the wall, but only for minor damage. That allows him to back off as well. And so far, Singularity, they've tried aggression in 2 angles, and it's worked out 0 times.
Kobe's getting hopeful through the smoke. But for now, Singularity, again, they're just so hungry for a kill. And if you're just going to peek Flit like that, he's not going to give you any opportunities at all to convert it. And Z-Power can just keep watch of short because he knows that Singularity want to now try and attack in this direction. It's really their only option. So again, try to run boost, but it's going to be so easily read by the Russian squad. Z-Power now looks for a third. And Ramoy, at least shots that one down.
Indeed, it does. He'll try to salvage the round, but Jerry denies it, and it's the double AWPs that do all of the work for FORZE in that one. They get their 8th on the board, and Singularity, they're in a serious amount of trouble at this point in time. Here we see Flit. Beautiful couple of shots from him to deny the short play, and then Exapower just waits for the shoulder peek, takes the shot at the right time, and then punishes the boosting player as well on the edge of the smoke. Singularity, they're struggling for firepower at the moment as 3 of their players are doing really poorly. Just Remoy and Mertz on decent fragging for Singularity right now.
Oh, again, Singularity just not even allowed to look towards the A site, not even towards doors with the double Molotovs in the way. Almazar just waits for maybe a time to just drop a smoke below on the choke point. Ramoy and Singularity haven't posed too much of a threat in some of the latter rounds. And if they get a bomb plant out of this round, that's going to be their objective going forward, at least. Their utility, only a flash. Face crack towards A, at least shuts down Tobers, so for him, nothing to do.
The lurk from Singularity already punished as Almaza, this time on the AWP, looks to do work of his own. Finds the opening shot. They keep pushing him, and they actually find him early on. Serrate Steagle does the work, upgrades him on to 2 kills, but Tobiz and Jabby, this is what I was talking about earlier. They both only have 2 kills apiece as well, and this is where the firepower has been lacking for Singularity. FORZE, they want a way back into the B bomb site. There's an AWP to defend, so they know they have to be cautious, but with 4 alive, this should be a winnable situation for them.
Should be, but FORZE taking a little bit of time really getting this retake in for Serrate side. Does get the first. Flip from behind, just had to make a play and he whiffs it. Mertz on the AWP actually responds, and Singularity for an eco. They've done so well so far. They started with pistols. Z-Power has to get 2 so quickly, and he almost has a chance. Just Mertz hiding on back. He now just wants the kill. It's messy, but it's a Z-Power win from his point of view. Singularity, they've still got 4.
Indeed, at least Extra Power, he does the economic damage, removes all of those rifles. What an effort from him. Opening shot, follows it up with the quick scope through the wall, and then honestly, this movement is so impressive, weaving around the bullets and finishing Mertz off with the no scope there. Just styling on Singularity, not enough to win the round, unfortunately, but the double AWPs are still on the board, and there are just a few rounds left in this half for Singularity to recover things.
Singularity technically can still look towards an 8-7 half, and if they want it, an opening kill here would be the best start towards that. So Tobiz starts off in lower tunnel along with Serrate. Couple of flashes, face crack, not too impacted by it. Singularity, a default really, starting this one off. Very up close. But who's going to win the mid encounter? That for me is going to be quite key going forward.
Absolutely. Singularity need to start taking some of these opening kills into their favor. They're going to try for the mid execution, but face crack is here and there's a gap underneath this smoke. He's trying to punish, gets Tobiz down to 4, but now he's trapped in a corner. Flitzorf has to bail him out here. It's just a fact. Mertz is waiting on the other side, though. He wants to punish as well, and right now it's all about the timing. When this smoke dissipates, who's going to win the battle? Eventually, both players end up missing the shots, but it's eaten up valuable time for Singularity, who look to push B.
Well, 40 seconds, Ramoy at least finds an opening. He gets a second, which I didn't think he'd actually get off of that. Singularity now start to find the kills, and the bomb heading towards A means it's going to be so much pressure really for Jerry and FaceCrack to work with, but they found kills, at least one apiece. Left in mid, and AWP can do little. Ramoy and Singularity against the face of it come off better, so they get 5.
They start to steady the ship now as well, do Singularity. They looked in trouble for the majority of this half, but they are slowly starting to narrow the gap on the scoreboard. T-side, obviously, the easier one here on Dust 2, so they'd like as many rounds as possible. And FORZE, they've gone for a bit of a mixed bag. They've got an AWP to boot, but pistols supporting it only, and Mertz has already found Jerry through the doors.
Z-Power also at least strikes back with Tobiz. The Singularity at least traded out, but Mertz, the AWP again, it's just proving so strong in towards middle. And Singularity, for a change and for the first time in a while, actually have an advantage, but they need to just clear the back of the site. There's a player still lurking and really looking to cause an impact. FaceCrack, in fact, actually down in CT, so from the Zane's point of view, they've got a bomb plant.
Absolutely, they do. Site under control is enough, perhaps even for FORZE to bail out of this and gift their opponent 6. They've got an AWP and an AK, and they don't really want to throw that away in what would be the last round of the half. Instead, just use what you can work with. Economic damage, fairly pointless at this point in time when the T-sides are virtually guaranteed to win the round anyway. So it's guaranteed to be a close affair at the end of this half, Louis. The question is simply going to be, is it a 9-6 or an 8-7?
FORZE aren't going to be too disappointed in terms of the money, so they'll have a full buyout. The only issue is only one AWP. Amazar nor Z-Power can actually get one in. So given the fact that when FORZE only have one AWP, they don't look as clinical as they actually have a second AWP. So completely forget what I'm going to say. Singularity They too get a full buy.
Yeah, the guns on the board now. Singularity, if they can bring this as close to equalization as you can get, they'd certainly be happy with it. They want to go aggressive out long again. Face Crack completely blind, doesn't have any idea there's anyone so aggressive. It's Cell right here, but he's punished by both the players in pit. The rest of Singularity, they're angled towards B, bomb down in those tunnels as well. And if they were to pressure here, Almaza would have to go absolutely huge with the rifle.
Flitters at least come onto the site, on the B site itself, just to support. And that smoke means for Singularity, it might be a delayed approach if they do commit towards B. Who's getting boosted though? A 3-man boost. I think they're going to try and... That almost works, but Mertz isn't going to be allowed to spot out anything. So a commitment surely now comes in. Lots of flashes, utility there. But the first point of contact, Flit, he at least strikes blood first.
Finds the opener, and Almaza tucked in the corner, holds true for the spray transfer. It's all over for the first half. FORZE pick up 9 rounds to Singularity, 6 on the T side. And as we switch over to the second half, they do have the advantage, the CIS side, moving forwards with things. This is what I was talking about earlier, Louis. Look at some of that firepower for the Singularity side. Remoy and Mertz doing well, but the rest really struggling here. As the sides do switch over, FORZE now have the opportunity to be aggressive on their own T side. They've gone for a lot more utility, 2 smokes and 4 flashes total, while Singularity, they're content with aggressing straight up mid. USP's already found the opening kill, and that stops FORZE in their tracks. They don't want to get any more aggressive than they have to. They use their flashes to try and find their way in, and that'll allow them to convert some kills with the Glocks, but the USPs in reply at range are just devastating. Headshots going either way, but the man advantage in favor of Singularity.
Yeah, but he surely has to get something here. At least that's a bomb dropped to his name, and for him and Singularity, maybe a chance to finally shut this down. Ramoy from behind means the player on short should be deleted. It's awkward, and in the end, Zivhar does fall. Singularity, I was going to say, actually, Tobas and Yabi, they're going to be players who need to really step up to now make an impact going into the second half, because for me, if you've only got half your squad fragging, then it's a tough ask to really ask Mertz and Remoy to step up even more than they can do.
Especially on the CT side as well, because if you've only got 2 players who are really turning up on the scoreboard, you imagine that they're going to be separated across the map. As soon as they get removed, you're giving away entire portions of the map to your opponent. So having everybody turn up in terms of the kills, vitally important. Tunnel controls taken by Singularity here. I like that aggression with the SMG, at least, to deny any contact B plays. And FORZE, they just want to take it passive. They're apparently very shook up from that pistol round and worried that some more mid-aggression will come through.
Yeah, Singularity don't really look to be aggressing towards mid too much. Yabi is the one player who could be a little aggressive if he gets the timing on this, but it's going to be Mertz towards door, who really now looks to step up with his scouts. Up close, the shot not quite connecting, but Ramoy can at least do damage back. 3 players are out, and Mertz has at least got an opening, but it can't be traded. Mertz alone, he at least got 3.
Yeah, the follow-up USP kill, that's the important one. Puts a stop to the push before he gets removed and recovers the round for Singularity. They keep the rifles on the board. Scout not recovered, but that wasn't the most expensive investment, so not too much of an issue for the CT side, who are looking to equalize in this round, but Extra Power wants something to do with that one. He's picked up the glass cannon AWP, and hopefully he wants to use that to devastating effect.
Oh, he's got to be lucky that he actually hits the shots and gets something for now. Nothing quite found. Singularity have really... Toba's lucky to be escaping that after being tagged down to 31 HP. But Yabi though, he gets the time in on Jerry maybe boosting up. Well, Molotov itself is enough information to know that FORZE have under control, or ladder, not ladder control, lower control. Can't get my words out today.
Either way, It is what Singularity have. They do have that lower control. Or rather, FORZE do have that lower control, I should say. And they want to pressure onto A short now. Singularity rather grouped up. They could quickly rotate onto this A site should they need. But Exapower's AWP is really what wants to try and deny those rotations. Watching the mid doors like a hawk, and FORZE, they just want to get an opening kill before they advance. They won't be gifted it by Singularity just yet. And instead, they're going to have to use the utility to make an execute happen.
Well, the smoke's in the way, and FORZE going to be delayed by it. Still, Yabi up close towards the door could really step up and make an impact if the AWP maybe misses a shot. Z-Power on the right side, but a peek in, and Yabi is so lucky to really be alive off of it. FORZE are lucky they can't actually hit the shots for now. The flash ineffective, and it's a one-on-one trade at least. Jerry and Mertz, they trade out, and with FORZE now looking towards B, they just struggle and can't kill the players on catwalk.
The aggression from the CT side working out perfectly as FORZE, they change targets, and Cellrate is going to be the man under pressure. AUG to hand. He can put a stop to this single-handedly, should he have the power to do so. Opens up with the first, but Flit's still alive. Needs to recover the bomb, and does so unpunished for now. Taps in case of aggression, but actually doesn't look like he has enough time there on the board to make things work. He doesn't at all. Can't commit to the plant, and Singularity will be able to tie things up.
9-9, perfect response, at least from their point of view, on the CT side now. And FORZE's money, it's not the most ideal. A couple of players having to force up some pistols going forward. And considering you've got one AK at least on this buyout, they're going to have to group up and really play this maybe quickly towards the B site. Cellrate used a quick Molotov. FORZE now start to contact and look to commit towards the site. One player on it.
They have Flit on the hero AK. They want him to do the majority of the work with the pistol. And these Deagles, they're still dangerous. They still have that headshot potential if you can put them in the right positions. Yabi towards mid doors, the man who has to deal with the aggression once again. He uses a flash to bail him out towards CT and instead call for some teammates for some passive support. As FORZE are dissuaded from their aggression by the flames deployed in the doors. They still want to go for this B split by the looks of things, though. They have the smoke ready to deploy should they need to, and instead they change their minds at the last moment, and they're all going to be pushing out of the tunnels.
My issue for this is the fact that they've only got one smoke in terms of any form of utility to even push out onto the site, and Cellrate up close, he can be so impactful in the play, and an instant headshot doubles up as Yabi also chimes in at least with one kill. It's only one back flipped. The only player who actually finds a kill from that play, so it's FORZE now losing. Singularity back on top for at least the first time in the second half.
Absolutely, they've recovered their scoreline immensely now that they're on the CT side, and Cellrate there just getting it done in the anti-force with that MP9. Double digits going to Singularity first certainly wasn't something I'd have predicted at the beginning of this map, Bluey, but now FORZE, they have a full buy to try and work with. Mertz has punished Flit in the early instance, though. The utility dumps towards long. It's going to force FORZE elsewhere, and Tobiz narrowly gets into lower tunnels with his life. They're going to keep aggressing into him.
Yeah, just uses some flashes to really try and escape, but still not in the best angle because towards upper tunnels, that could have been a concern. Remoy, in fact, actually finds Jerry, and on short, just a trade, which FORZE come off better win, but the Molotovs are so brilliant. The utility from Singularity just so strong. That's meant that, while FORZE have been forced to back away from the doors angle, Mertz, if he maybe gets an opportunity, could certainly draw blood with the AWP. It's still a man advantage, at least, for the Danes' point of view.
Singularity so tightly held around towards mid, aggression on short doors and lower to allow for quick rotations into A, but it doesn't allow for an active defense of that A site. Mertz on the AWP misses his opening shot, and that should be a way in found. Instead, he goes back and finds face crack elsewhere. Bomb now dropped on the site. FORZE they have to plant, but I'm not sure that Mertz is aware of this one. They don't seem to have the vision of it. Exapower is going to get to the site for free, commit to the plant, and Almaza, his supporting rifle, is very low towards long.
Well, they've set off the retake smoke. At least Singularity have. Now the Zorp has to really make an impact, and a big one at best, because cell rate on low HP means this could essentially be a 2-on-2, and he is gone. Z-Power at least takes him out. Now 2 more, at least 1 on site, the other in CT. And what angle does Z-Power check up close? He beats Tobis. It's his last to find, and he wins the encounter. 4 in total. And for FORZE, what a way to tie up this match.
A beautiful quad kill from Exapower to give FORZE their first round on the T side. He's up to 21 in total, and let's have a look at that one again. Absolutely clinical from him. 3 AWP shots in quick succession, all meeting their targets at close range. That puts the T's on the board, and FORZE is going to call a timeout on the back of that one. They know that their economy is going to be shaky following the buy up in this one, and they have the opportunity to really break Singularity's bank here and take control of Dust 2 when all is said and done. They have to make the right tactical decision in order to get that done, though.
And tactically going forward as well, Singularity have to be careful that their money doesn't go a little too haywire, really. Considering what they look at the moment is a heavy SMG and a weak rifle buy. An M4 and AWP are surrounded by a FAMAS and 2 MP9s. And I'm not saying they're far from ideal weapons, because they can do damage. But it's not the perfect buy that, if the Singularity in round 21, you would be wanting. Amazar towards long actually wins that. Remoy deleted. 1 more in the smoke, and Yabi can at least take advantage.
That is the important refrag for Singularity. Brings along back under control, because if they lose that one out there and Yabi actually falls too, then Singularity just have 1 player left on the A site who has to watch both short and long in case of a split execute. Instead, they can have 1 player on each angle and actively defend, at least find opening kills should FORZE choose to aggress. They want to attack A again. They want to put Yabi under more pressure. He's going to have to go big with this AK.
More or less alone, so Singularity don't have the option to trade out if Yabi falls here, so he's got to play the safer option, look towards Pit. The flash useless, the 1-on-1 Angels now, they could be allowed, and while the AWP tried to support it, just can't do anything. Yabi goes also and leaves a FAMAS and an MP9 left to play retake.
Tobiz on the MP9, very close angle. It's the perfect one to utilize with that weapon, but now smoked off. He's got a gamble in his mind whether or not to aggress. The flames deter him instead, and Flit has info on at least 1, unsure of the second just yet though, and they might look to go for a boost here and kill the planter. They don't expect it at all, but the bomb does at least go down, leaving us in the 2-on-2 situation. Exapower's AWP. Oh, it rings out, but it doesn't convert the kill. Tobiz down to 2 is still alive, and Singularity, they have a chance, but in more and more of a dire situation. How desperate are they going to get? Tobiz falls and cell rate to boot. FORZE on 11, and Singularity looking at an eco.
And this is the awkward thing I was going to be saying about them, because their money now gone means FORZE effectively look towards 12 and possibly 13 if the next gun round actually gets converted. It's been a back and forth affair, so loss bonus not quite going to be totaled either. And so Singularity maybe take a couple of weapons out of FORZE's hands. That would be perfect, because you look at Flit, Jerry and Facecrack, at least around the 200 mark. Their economy's not perfect either.
It does all hang in the balance money-wise, but Singularity have gamble stacked over towards the B bomb site, and it's just the wrong call in this round as FORZE once again make their way out A long in this instance. It's going to be a free site given away, and Singularity, they start to aggress towards the tunnels and go hunting with what limited weaponry they have for essential weapons to use in the next round. Otherwise, though, this should realistically be a nice, easy round for FORZE, not contested at all towards the A bomb site. And after that bomb does go down, Singularity, the best they can hope for is a couple of AKs.
That would have been just the objective out of this round, really, to take some weapons away from this FORZE lineup. Facecrack might be the first to go hunting along with Flit, and FORZE have been somewhat aggressive, so just need to be careful that they don't lose too much. And Singularity, if they maybe just overwhelm one of these players specifically, that's their best chance of maybe taking 1 or 2 weapons away. For now, no issues. And in fact, all 5 of FORZE stay alive. Up to 12, as we predicted. While Yabi can get an AWP, it's an M4 for his side. And everyone on it. And a key round.
They all pick up the rifles, Louis. They know that they have to all be on the same page here. That's the crucial element. They can't really afford to have Mertz on the glass cannon. He could be punished by players like Flit, who we've seen entering like crazy throughout this map so far. FORZE, they've taken another timeout just to apply even more pressure. This is definitely one to make Singularity sweat.
Yes, for Singularity now going forward, they need to just get the control. They've got to ensure that FORZE don't allow for the trade kills. And we saw maybe one of the earlier plays where when Singularity had that player towards long pit, they just didn't entirely have the trade potential there. Mertz tried for it with the York, but he got eliminated. And Singularity, it's minor mistakes like that which are really costing them big advantages and big chances in the round to really go on and find a victory. And for FORZE here, I kind of feel like if they get the advantage and if they get victory here, then Singularity, it's a massive uphill struggle. And this, don't forget, it's only a best of 1.
You're absolutely right. Singularity must win this round to contest the map, and they've started it off beautifully. Yabi and Cellrate with 2 big kills. Almas has replied, but Tobiz swiftly removes him from the round, and FORZE, it all gets dismantled very quickly. Exapower can't land the AWP shot, and instead is punished by Remoy, who looks for the follow-up even towards lower tunnels. Think he has the info on Flit now. He definitely does, as the rest of Singularity start to hunt him down. They had to win this round. They do so in convincing fashion, and they're 1 away from tying things up now.
Singularity also, the advantage with them is they've kept an AWP, and Mertz will just utilize that. So economically, they are under not too much pressure for the moment. But for FORZE, still a 1-round lead. If they again find a win here, and for Singularity, money and the finances might not be in the best performance, the best place. And Tobiz takes that early damage, signals a bad start for the Danes.
Indeed, they retreat to more passive angles on the map here, and they just wait it out. FORZE, they want to go aggressive up long yet again and take map control, but they decide against it in the late instance. Singularity, they love contesting mid control early on. 4 players did it at the start of this round. They only now are backing off towards that A site, and you can just see FORZE creeping up T-spawn, crouching down and looking down, so that Singularity don't get any info. They don't rotate any players over, and eventually Exapower is going to be responsible for selling this fake on A.
And so, right, in fact, will be the man responsible for maybe holding off what's going to be a very dramatic B play. And Singularity, they've just got unlucky with making the call of committing towards what might have been an A play. And just to make matters worse, Z-Power hasn't even peeked or looked out towards long. So Singularity, they've heavily gambled, and is Cellrate really going to back away? Goes towards window. In fact, they've lost the sight. FORZE, they're committing now, and that's the worst time to really fall away. The flash might be something, but with the smoking away, Singularity, you can't help but think you've thrown away your own sight.
It's the complete wrong tactical call there. The misread from Singularity. They expect it to be A. They really do. It gets to the late stage in the round. They hear no aggression, and they make the wrong call. 4 of them now so far away from the B site that retaking not really a possibility. The amount of time it would take them to get over there, they'd have to rush straight in. They know they just have to save these 4 rifles forward, and Singularity, with the opportunity to tie it up at 12-12, they throw it away by leaving the B bomb site.
They've also kept the AWP as well, so 2 AWPs, in fact, from their point of view, is a massive advantage and a massive bonus. And that was where we started to see FORZE really at the best when they were on the CT side. When they got 2 AWPs to work with in towards mid and long, then they did start to look a little stronger. So that could be the key to really keeping Singularity in this matchup. For now, though, Flit just drops his AWP across to Z-Power. 24 kills individually. He's had a massive start. Singularity again, they've got to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, he has had an absolutely great game at this point in time, and He's definitely going to be wanting to continue that forward in this map. These performances ever so vital. They push in towards a long. Flit is the first man out of the smoke. He hasn't been able to find anything just yet, though. Remoy eventually punished. Now, Yabi must know there's a man close, but he can't do anything about it. Instead, it's Mertz who has to recover.
Well, Mertz could still find something else here if there is a fast play towards long. The smoke fades away, and for Mertz, really a massive bonus now, a massive advantage of really getting the chance of seeing what's there. And the flashes on the smokes, whatever gets sent out while they hit him, he just had the angle, but face crack comes off better, in fact. So sort of Singularity, maybe an A site which could be lost depending on what Dobes really gets through the smoke.
Indeed. 2 on 4 situation rather. Tobis can't get anything done. FORZE, they pick up 14. It's guaranteed now. They're 2 away from victory in this map and advancement through the upper bracket of Group B. It all starts with this brilliant play from Flit here through that long position. Mertz eventually deals with him, but he opens it up onto that A site, and that really gives FORZE the way in. Singularity now, they have to drop down onto the eco, and that could be a guaranteed 15 for FORZE.
Oh, it depends on what damage really gets achieved. A couple of weapons taken away wouldn't be a bad shout, but Flit opens it up quite cleanly. In fact, the initial engagement 1, Z-Power and mid. These are the AWP to eliminate Mertz. Mertz has been trying his best, really. He's been Singularity's standout player, but just hasn't been enough. And with an AK peaking like that, Flit an obvious winner. The A site more or less pretty much gained, and with Tobers getting nothing, Cellrate's chances are very dire and low also.
Absolutely, they are on just 20 HP, no body armor to work with. He's eventually put down, and it's a completely clean round from FORZE. Only 8 damage taken on 1 player. The rest goes absolutely perfectly, and they now are just 1 round away from victory in Group B's opening best of 1 matchup. Singularity, they need to fight for 4 in a row to force overtime.
It's not impossible, but given the performance that FORZE have really demonstrated so far, it could be an easy one for them. So the opening kill, in my eyes, certainly determines how this match could end up. Look at this aggression so early on, face crack. This isn't a unique play, and this isn't something that FORZE have brought out of nothing. And while face crack does take the damage, it's going to be this fast play towards A, or the B site, sorry, Jerry and Cellrate just trade out.
Ooh, the triple kill on the AUG. He recovers it in the B site. It's under the control of FORZE, but there are 3 players from Singularity alive and kicking on the retake now. They have to go for this one. Exapower and Almaza are the only players who can deny with the AWP and the AK. Exapower looking for the first in the tunnels. He finds Remoy. That's a vital kill to secure. Locks it in the 2-on-2 now. The Molotov at Yabi's feet. He's burning alive. He's just sitting in it.
What?
He burns all the way. Almaza deals with him, and Mertz, he's left alone now with the AWP creeping around the smoke. What can he find? Time ticking away. He's under so much pressure. He spots the barrel, but he gets the second kill even. The USP dancing around the box. It's just not enough time left. Unfortunately, FORZE, they will get it done thanks to time at the end, and they overcome Singularity 16-11.